Darrell sprang into the chamber. Above him came the leathery thunder of wings. He looked up and saw demon bats descending from the high black roof. Count Bullock smiled and pointed one white bony finger at him.
I consider you, Darrell, and your lovely sweetheart Zella to be my special guest,
he said.
And who else have you brought me?
Darrell glanced toward the Enchantress. She had turned her head and was looking at her rescuers. Before anyone could answer, two great bats swooped down and seized Elise by the hair. They lifted her in the air. The witch gave a shrill magical scream and flapped her arms helplessly. The Count laughed as though we were watching a clown tumble in a court. Zala shot a burst of purple fire at the nearest skeletal warrior, but the flame passed straight through the creature's ribs and vanished in the darkness behind it.
Did I fail to mention you have no power in this chamber to resist me?
He waved his ring toward Darrell and Zala. At once Darrell felt his arms grow weak. His sword slipped from his hand and clattered on the stone floor. He looked aside and saw that Exar too had dropped his sword. The Count watched them with delight as they understood the truth. They were captives. The skeletal warriors drew near.
Do not harm my guests, deaf creatures,
said Count Bullock.
They must wait and watch. Bring them to me.
One sharp bony finger caught Darrell beneath the arms. He was lifted helplessly from the ground and carried across the chamber.
Put him there,
said the Count. The warriors placed Darrell where Bullock pointed directly before the Enchantress. Darrell tried to speak to her, but his mouth would not obey him. The Count then had the others brought forward and set in half circle, each one facing the Enchantress. For a moment there was only the sound of bones scraping over stone. Then even that grew quiet. Count Bullock nodded as if some long-awaited hour had arrived at last. He looked up at Elise, still dangling in the claws of the bats.
Let the hag loose.
The demon bats released her. Elise fell in a howl and struck the floor with a horrible splat. Count Bullock gave a rasping chuckle.
A wonderful performance, Elise. I almost believed you had joined them, but now we have reached the very point of your vision, of which you foretold before the rescuers arrived. You are a remarkable soother. Now is the time for me to shape events.
The Count closed his eyes and drew a long breath, as though drinking power from the stones themselves. Then he opened them wide.
The reason I have brought you here,
he said,
is that you may witness my transformation of the Enchantress into my servant.
He paused, rubbed his chin with his long bony fingers, and added,
No, not only that, you shall watch her kneel before me. Then you shall watch her kill each of you, one by one at my command.
His chin jutted up forward in a proud sneer. Darrell found his voice and cried out in rage.
You'll never do such evil.
The Count smiled down at him with dreadful pity.
Let me explain something to you. You do not understand about the Enchantress. Silbora told me about how she was made. Alchemists, wizards created her by blending magical creatures into one powerful being. For the first time they used the soul essence of demons.
He turned and looked at the Enchantress as though she were no more than a curious object upon a table.
They feared when they began alchemy that they might not be able to control what they had made. They feared the demon within her may destroy them the moment she is formed. And so they used the strongest spells. They had discovered a way to use demons in the craft. And Enchantress was one of their first great success, a living creature that was part demon.
The Count stepped toward her and seized her chin and forced her to look at him.
With my power,
He whispered.
I can feed that demon. I can help it grow until she knows her true nature belongs not to this world, but to the demon world.